Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we are working on our GUI framework, and today's topic is trying to wrap up whatever widgets we need to wrap up in order to replace ImGUI in our image editor. So here is our little demo application. We have some text input boxes. Wow, look, we can delete text. We can delete text from the other side. Wow, we have some buttons. You click them, they switch from on to off. Wow. We have this like little color picker where you can like, change the color of the UI. Wow, and you can do it by RGB as well. Wow, right? We've got these like float triggers, as well as like a proof that you can click a button and change some other state from somewhere else, as well as text layout and scrolling. That's kind of like the full feature set right now. We are working towards replacing ImGUI in our image editor. So this is our image editor, right? We're not going to go too much into the details of what this thing can do right now, but we can do things like create a shader, right? And this shader is like a user-defined GLSL thing, and these parameters are kind of like auto-detected based off of the uniforms that are available in the shader, but allows us to kind of like make, custom widgets or whatever, custom things we can like draw on this thing. And if we like say, okay, I want to draw on top of this thing, we can, do this, right? Apply some more shader stuff. But in reality, like we're trying to replace the UI elements that are here with ours. So what are we missing right now? Well, we have this concept of like images or objects in our thing that are like composable together. So we need a way to like select between these. So a selectable list is on the list of things we need to implement. When we have a few cases where we use a drop down right now as our way of selecting stuff. So we have like tons of shaders that are available on disk. And so like if we were like, okay, I want to start, which one do I want to use? I want to make like I want to tint this thing. I go in here, I hit the drop down, and then did I click the wrong thing there? Hello, tint. Oh yeah, this is the right thing, right? So I need this drop down as well, which is very similar to this for sure. And then I think the other thing that we need is a integer spinner. So in some cases, there are shaders that are related to two images, right? So we have like a mask multiplication, right? So we can take like, I don't know, if we take this picture of Miss Lannister and we want to cut her out, how do I do that here? Boom, 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 boom. That creates like a mask, and we create like this masked object, which is kind of multiplying, Cersei by the mask. And these things like could theoretically be different sizes. So in order for us to like determine the size of the image that we created, we have to say which image are we coming from. And so maybe a drop down here makes sense. Maybe like having some sort of like way to input an integer also though seems pretty usable or pretty useful. So those are the three widgets that we have not implemented that we need, and then maybe some form of like layout stuff. Not really sure. As well as we need to make sure that like when we switch between different types of objects here, like if I click on an image that's on disk versus a drawing versus a shader, like what is in this third window kind of changes. So we need to make sure that we can support that behavior of like kind of regenerating layouts on the fly. I think that we support that, but we should probably like double check that. So that's the plan. Just kind of get whatever we need to get done so that we can tomorrow replace ImGUI in our application. That's kind of the goal. So let's start with a selectable list. We need a test case for that. So in our little demo application, let's make a list of things that we might want to select between. So we have our kind of like high level application thing. And so I guess let's make a list of some text, I guess. So we'll be like LMs. We have selectable elements. And maybe just for brevity, we will make this like a list of like 6 enum fields. Is that what we want to do? Actually, we could say we have like a selectable item that is an enum, and here we can say like item 1, item A, B, item C, item D. And then here we can just be like selected item is a selectable item. Okay. And we'll just say that our default selection is item A. This seems good because this allows us to test a lot of stuff like the generation of strings from an enum and which one is selected and stuff like that. I like that. And so this should still build. And now the question is, how do we want to present that? How do we want to present that? So well, we're going to want some sort of selectable list. And I think this thing is going to conform to the widget API, right? So we're going to say, let's go to GUI. And this is our widget API. Our widgets need to provide some of these functions, right? A widget is a thing that does some of these things. So these things are required. We need to be able to set our size of our widget. We need to be able to render the widget. We need to be able to init him. And we maybe need to be able to update him. We do in this case. And we will need to handle inputs for this thing in some way as well. So we have all these. We don't really care about focus for this thing, I don't think. Focus is kind of like the word we use for which text box are we typing into. I don't think we really care about that right now. So we'll kind of do this. And then let's kind of start by saying, okay, our thing is going to take in the standard library for sure. Because some of these APIs require an allocator, right? So we're going to const allocator is mem allocator. What else is here? Pixel bbox. So this comes from GUI. We need pixel bbox is from GUI. Pixel bbox. We have pixel size in here as well. The size of a thing in pixels. Wow. So we slap that in here, and then I think that's it. Input state as well, I guess. And we want widget as well. Okay. So our thing, he needs to, he's going to take in something. How do I say this? Okay, the way our widget system works right now, we have 3 stages, I guess 4 stages. There's like construction, update, handle input, and render. The idea here is that our widgets are kind of like long-lived, unlike an immediate GUI is, but we do relay out the widgets every frame, like an immediate mode GUI. The reason that we are not like fully immediate mode is because there are cases where storing state in the widgets just makes things simpler, and so we want to make sure that we like have somewhere to store that state. So in our case, we are going to have to store the state probably of like, I think that we need a way to ask the application to tell us about the backing stuff, right? So in an immediate mode GUI, you have the luxury of just saying like, make button, right? And you go like app button here. This is like button on, right? Or like our app button name or something, right? You have the luxury of doing this because at every frame, you have access to the application. Now, we don't want to bake in a specific application to our GUI framework, but we do want to have a way for our widgets to ask the application for updates. So what our strategy has been so far is to make a generic type, selectable list, who has a way to like retrieve the information that he cares about from the GUI, right? So we will say like, hey, GUI, feed, or like whoever construct us, feed us a retriever type. And we will like store that thing somewhere. So this is a pub function. So we are going to like store that thing somewhere. So we like return a struct of a retriever, right? And then when we call update, when we're updating ourselves and we are trying to say what is our new layout, what state of our own do we need to update? Like we will say self retriever, and we like get information. So in our case, we need something like num items probably. How many things are in this list? And also, what are they, right? So we're gonna have to ask the application to provide us these things. So item at maybe get. Yes. And what are we going to be getting from these things? Probably just the name, right? We need some sort of like identifier. So get text probably is like we're going to display some text at position I, right? That makes sense to me. So our label is going to show like a list of like A, B, C, and D. He's going to have to determine how many of these things to show by asking the retriever how many of these there are. And then for each of these things, he's basically going to construct a label, I guess. He's going to have to also know which one is selected, right? So, right, he's going to ask for that as well, because he needs to use that to determine which one is being rendered. Or which one is like highlighted. Seems reasonable. So then it's totally up to the application to choose how he wants to order those things and stuff like that. That seems fine. That seems fine. So what we do here is we make a. This thing also has to store an action type, which is, in order to execute the selection, we need to ask the application to perform some event, right? So in our case, the application is going to pass in these selectable items A, B, C, and D, right? And we are going to have to say, hey, we want that thing to be selected now, which is going to have to somehow change the selected item field in the application to whichever one was selected. So what we do is we say, hey, application, you get to choose how you want us to tell you to do things, right? So we have this like UI action thing, and he's gonna be like, select an item, right? This is what he's gonna ask us to return this thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be like, he's gonna create a function that just takes in make select item, and this is gonna take in an index, right? Because our selectable list is basically working on an ordered list of things, right? So he's gonna say index is a usize. And he's going to return a UI action, which is going to be like, essentially, just select item is equal to enum from int of index. And we are just going to have basically assert, or we're going to like claim that the widget is never allowed to pass an index. That the application didn't say was okay, essentially, right? Because the list that we get is from the application, so if the application gives us a bad list, then that's on them. So that means that we are going to create some sort of action generator, which is basically like going to be that function. Make select, I guess we call it, generate select request or something. And when the application constructs this thing, he's going to tell us which function to call, essentially. Okay, cool. So our init, he's going to return a self. No, he's not. He's going to return a widget, actually, of action type. And how do we do that? We need to make a vtable, a list of function pointers that the widget will use, which comes from widget action type vtable. Boom. And we just take these guys for now, I guess, and we implement the ones we care about. So we have dinit. Dinit is equal to self dinit. Okay. Render is equal to self render. And update is we don't need to do update yet. We'll handle that in a minute. Get size equal to self get size, and update equals self update. But we can comment that up for now. We don't have self here yet. Constant self is equal to this. Boom. And then we just have to implement those functions. So dinit. Boom. 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 So here he's going to have to say, okay, when I created myself as a pointer. I'm expecting to have to destroy myself. And that means that we are going to have to do something. Self is a self, which is a pointer cast of the context. Okay, boom, simple. On render, we are going to do something similar, but for now we're just going to do kind of nothing. Let's just get compiling first. Okay. And then we need get size as well. For now, let's just kind of return a arbitrarily sized box, but later this will have to be configurable in some way, shape, or form. Let's just return width is equal to 100, height is equal to 100, just to get started. Just to get started. Then we should be in a state where we're like capable of compiling soon. So actually, I don't want to make an init function, I've decided. With these generic types, it's nice sometimes to make a function, like a public function, selectable list, which I guess actually it kind of makes more sense to go at the top. And this will kind of like deduce types so that like the user doesn't have to basically punch in the action type retriever and generate select. Well, we will have to punch in the action type, but that's okay because that's really easy for them. He's also going to have to pass in the retriever and the generator, right? And he's going to return a selectable list that has action type, type of retriever, and type of generator. Okay. And this is literally just like retriever, zero retriever, and generator, zero generator. Okay. All right. So now in main, not main, demo app, let's create this this widget. So where do we do all of our widget generation? It's somewhere in here. Here. So let's just kind of put it towards the top. Maybe we'll put it before the coloring stuff. And here will be like, let's include this in our top level GUI thing. So like this, selectable list zig, boom, bang, boom. And then we'll go GUI, selectable list, select this thing with a UI action, make select. No, this is going to be, we need some way to like retrieve one of these, right? So what did we say our API for this is going to be? I guess we'll kind of handle that later. So for now, let's just kind of like make it like a dummy type. Make, I don't know, retrieve selectable items. We're gonna do this for now. And then we can just say this for now. And then we need a action generator, which we said was UI action dot make select item. Okay. So that's, I think this has to be a function pointer actually, like this. So this is a selectable is equal to this thing, and we are going to put that thing in the layout. Boom. Simple. Simple, simple, simple. Which should mean now we should be able to compile, but I think he actually won't compile because he's going to say that we need to handle that new select item request. He's actually not there yet. Selectable list is pissed off. Why? What is he? Oh, because this thing is actually return a widget. My bad. So it's gonna be like, this thing needs to take an alligator, and we are going to create one of those selectable lists for sure. So we're gonna be like action type, type of retriever, type of generator, and we are going to say, let's allocate one of those things. Okay. We'll fill in the data, and then we convert this thing into the generic widget type. So here we say vtable is equal to s vtable, widget vtable, and the context is equal to red. Boom. Bing, bang, boom. Which means that now, when we compile, he should be able to inject that thing. He's mad though, because now when we call selectable list, we do need to pass in an allocator. That's a good point. Good point. And switch must handle all possibilities. That's what I was worried about here. So here we need to say that, why is my coloring all fucked up? When they ask us to select an item, we have an item? What is this thing return? Selectable item. So we just say like, app selected is item. Simple. Simple, simple, simple. Fuck. Probably because when we generate our selectable list thing, this thing can actually fail because an allocation can fail. So we need to write try here, which means that whoever calls this thing has to write try here. All right, let's try that. Boom. Okay, so we should see now is we should just see like a little gap. wherever we tried to put this thing, which we are seeing. This is where the selectable list is going to live. He's going to live right here. Boom, 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 right? Okay. So now let's try to do something actually reasonable here. We need to do something at all. So on initialization, we basically we're gonna have to like construct some form of list of things, right? So we have this GUI text thing, which is basically like an abstraction around like taking some fonts and putting them places. So I think in here, what we can do is we can do like, we have like an array list here, like inner, like item labels, I believe is what this is called. And so we can just make these like a list of let's think. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Array list unmanaged of GUI text, retriever. Right? So this guy's kind of like automatically responsible for like getting the name of a thing and like updating his label appropriately. Now this is actually a lie. This is a lie. We need to, this guy's expecting basically just like a text buffer. He's expecting, you know, something of a form like this, or maybe he's expecting a thing that, like a function that can return a chunk of text, or he's expecting like a structure that has a function called getText on him, right? He can extract text from a thing by calling any of these methods, right? So you can say, oh, this thing is a structure with a getText function, I'll call that. Or if the thing is just like some fucking text, I'll just use that shit. Now, what we have is essentially this thing, right? So we need to adapt each item to be just like to be a function that just has get text. So I think that we're going to be like label adapter is going to be a structure that basically just takes its index into this thing. He's going to store like the underlying retriever. Okay. Maybe we'll pull this outside. Maybe that's easier. And maybe we even put this down here. Boom. Okay. So that means that this thing has to be a function because he needs to generate a type based off of the retriever input. And I think all he has to do is be like, basically which retriever I have like an underlying retriever thing, and which index into that thing am I trying to pull from? Then we have like a get text function, right? That returns some text, and all he has to do is say retriever get text at self index. Yeah. So just like a quick little label adapter. And then each of these now, the GUI text get a label adapter of retriever in order to get each individual piece of text. Nice. That makes sense so far. Now here we are going to basically have to immediately look and see how many of these things there are. So we're going to be like, what do we say? We're going to say num items. Num items is this. And we are going to say for 0 to num items, we are going to push, we're going to make one of these GUI texts. Seems reasonable. So we're going to be like, item labels is a std array list unmanaged of GUI text label. Wait, can we do this? GUI like label like text item or something? Or can we just like whoop, take that and put it here? Because then here we can just be like, I'm gonna make some s text items. Nice. Nice. Okay. So error, if we fail here, we just like rip that shit. I guess we need to free this if we fail. And if we fail, we also have to do something that's like for item labels, items, item DNet alloc, and then we also have to free this. Boom. Okay. Okay. So we go over each item. For each item, we go try item labels append. How do we make these GUI texts? We just call GUI text here. GUI text here. We pass in an allocator and whatever the fuck else he's asking for. He's asked for some shared state. Okay. Shared GUI text comes from a GUI text shared state. Okay. What else do you want? Whoa, not here. What else does he want? He wants some text retriever, which is our label adapter type of retriever with, I guess the index and retriever is equal to retriever. Nice. Okay. Yup. And the index is equal to I. Yes, it's all coming together. And then we need a wrap width. Interesting. So I guess our wrap width will just be passed in here. I think that's fair. I think we do probably want wrapping here. I think text wrapping seems reasonable. We can just adjust the height of each item based off of the wrap width. That seems fine. And then we append the text. And if we fail to append the text, then that means we need to free the thing we made. Probably with the allocator. All right. So now we have some items. Chillin'. Now whoever tries to construct this thing is gonna be pissed off because he has some more inputs now. So here, our shared state comes from self GUI text state that already exists, so no worries there. And then we also need the wrap width, which I guess comes from the layout available size width. How much room is available for us? Wrong way, I guess. Did the other way. And then available size needs an argument. Container size. Do we have that? Window size. We do. Looks like this. Boom. Okay. Num items don't exist. Right, because now we actually need to implement this shit. So this thing is going to have to hold a reference to our application. Right? And what was it? It was like num items takes in this thing and returns a usize, right? And this is gonna like return self. I guess this doesn't need to use the application at all, actually, because this is completely based off of like the number of fields in our enum. Right? So how do we extract the number of items in the enum? Stood, meta, fields, this, len, I guess? Which means that we don't need this. What's he? I guess here we need to be like this instead because it's embedded right here. It's fine. I guess we could just like pull this out here. Okay. And then we need to do app is equal to app or something. Okay. So now num items should succeed, but now he's pissed off because, whoa. I guess saying app has to be const is pretty reasonable. You don't want him to like accidentally like fuck shit up. And I guess this thing is probably already a pointer actually. And then num items is not marked pub, so we sort of throw a little pub on there so that the other guy can call him. That's fair. And now he should be like, okay, but what about get text? Okay, so this takes in self as a retrieve selectable items. He returns a text. And here, again, he doesn't actually need to use himself because the text is literally just at index. It's literally just this. How does this work? Fields returns an array of enum fields, which is just name, yeah, so it's just like this. Okay, and then IDX, he's pissed off because values of index values runtime known. Oh, that's annoying. Really? I can't index into this thing? Why not? This thing doesn't say that he needs to return. He returns a slice of fields. Why does that need to be compile time known? Do we do this like switch IDX? What the fuck? I guess we do enum from int IDX. Yeah, we'll do this. Const s is a selectable item, sorry, from this thing. And then we can do return like name something, tag name of s. Yeah, that should do it. That should do it. There we go. Oh, okay, we compile. Let's see if we run. All right, okay. So obviously there's some leakies because we didn't clean this shit up. So down here, we need to say on dinit, we do whatever the fuck we did over here, essentially, where we like iterate all of the items that we stored and dinit them. Whoop! And let's put a little fix me on here and say helper function, because this is used here and here. So it'd be nice if we just had a function that did the denitting for us. But that's a problem for future me. And I guess we can try to fucking render that shit now. So, first of all, size. Size is now going to be determined based off of the size of all of our laid out items stacked on top of each other. So, presumably we're going to have to pad between them. So in our like shared state, we're probably going to want like actually, I'll clean that up later. We're going to want to do some sort of like common state that's shared between all these things so we can like stash an item pad, but for now I'll just hardcode it. We are going to say that the size is item pad is equal to 5. We're going to say the size is for each of our internal items, we're going to have to add up all of their sizes. We're going to go for each of these item size, and we are going to basically try to like append the heights of these things. So we're going to say that the width is going to be 0. What is our pixel size here? U31. Okay, our width is 0. Our height is also 0 at the beginning. As we iterate these things, we are going to say that the width is the maximum of all elements. Okay. And our height is just added to. And then at the end, we just kind of like say that the height is actually going to start as the number of elements minus 1 times the pad, right? Because we need to pad in between each item. So we start there and then we add in the height of each item as well. And then we return that. Okay. So that's the size of our box. And now we just kind of iterate over each of these things and we say on render, for each of these elements, let's try to render it. So all we have to do is figure out where this thing's got to go. So I guess that probably means that like some sort of like item bounds makes sense. Hello, I'm doing great. How are you doing? It's just kind of a funny way to enter a room. I like the idea of like you go to like a party and you just like bust open the door. You're like, I'm great. Like it's just, I mean, it's cool, but it's just funny. It's just a little. Usually, you ask how the other person is doing, and then wait for them to ask you. Is like the way like socially that normally goes. But I do really like the idea of just being like, fuck it, I want to tell you. Like, um, okay, so we need like item bounds. And I guess we are going to go. I guess we kind of want a cursor. Uh, y offs is going to start at 0. And as we move down, y offs is going to be incremented by the item pad as well as the item size height. Right? This is kind of how we're going to advance this thing on each item. Okay, but before we do that, we have to render it at the current offset. So we're going to have to say that our bounds are going to be like, we're going to start the left side of our widget. So item bounds is going to be a pixel bounding box. The left side is just like the total widget left side. The right side is not the widget right side. The right side is the size of the item plus the left side, right? Because it's important that the some things are like kind of computed relative to this thing. So like if we were to make this too wide, it wouldn't just like put itself in the right spot, but it would actually stretch to fill whatever space we asked for. So we have to be a little bit careful here. Top is just y offset, and bottom is equal to the y offs plus widget item size height. Okay, so this is where we're going to put this thing, and then we can now easily calculate like the render transform that we need, which takes like basically by default this thing will like fill the whole screen, and then we like kind of like make it smaller and then like position it wherever we want. So we just have to go ask our utility function to do that for us. So we go util widget to clip transform. Nice. For our item bounds and the window bounds. Those are the two things that are relevant here. And now, hopefully, we'll see like item A, B, C, and D in our little area there. That'd be cool. But instead he's pissed off because what? U31, yeah, fine. We'll just throw a fucking int cast at that shit. I don't give a shit. What are language using? Is it Zig? Yeah, Zig. Okay, so we got close. We started our y offset at 0 though, so these items are like stuck in the fucking top of the screen. So we actually want to start our y offset at the widget bounds top. It seems like, and then slapping that into an I32 seems kind of reasonable. Look at that. Item A, item B, item C, item D. Hell yeah, baby. Nice. Nice. Okay, that's not crazy. Now, we have to highlight the one we care about, right? So, what does that mean? I guess it means that we need to ask for the selected ID. So we say, yo, we have this retriever, and we said we were going to use the function selected ID. And we're going to be like, I guess here, if index is equal selected, kind of before we render the text, let's just kind of slap a little rectangle behind here. So now we're going to have to start pulling some like common state out. So we have some shared state for this thing. And in this shared state, we are going to store the GUI text shared state. By shared state, I mean something that is shared across all instantiations of a list, right? All lists are going to use the same box renderer, right? So that's what we're putting here. Squircle renderer is a Squircle renderer. Where this comes from squircle renderer. Zig like this. Okay. And now instead of taking in the shared GUI text, we're just going to take in shared, which is now our shared state. Boom, which means that down here we need to call shared GUI state. Boom. And then somewhere we need to go into our demo app and we have to say here we need to have our shared selectable list state, and which means that we have to construct this thing. So when we make our app layout generator, we go var selectable item state, selectable list state, sorry. This thing has the GUI state is GUI text shared, and the squircle renderer is squircle renderer. Boom, bang, bang, boom. Bish, bash, bosh. Boom, 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 boom. And then this guy, now when he creates our selectable list, wherever the fuck he does that, he's passing in the selectable list state. Boom. Bing, bang, boom. Okay. So now he's complaining. He's like, yo, there's no selected ID in that thing you gave us. So here we need to add that. And this is where we say, okay, we have this retrieve selectable items thing, and he's going to return you an index, and that's literally just going to be like int from enum of self app selected item. Boom. Boom. Okay, sick. So now we have to actually do something with that information. So we can just say, if that is the case, we need to stash our shared data so that we can reference it. Okay, which means that when we initialize, we have to write that shit down. And then down here, now we can just be like, yo, self shared squircle renderer, render. And I guess in our thing, we're gonna have to have some sort of like style, right? And here we can start putting things in like the highlight color, right? And then here we should also just put the item pad in here. We might as well, which probably is like a U31, probably. I don't know. Which means where we construct this shit, we need to be like, style is equal to this shit, and our item pad is equal to widget text padding, I guess, is what we've been using before. It's kind of what we're using everywhere else. And the highlight color is going to be our global style default color. Probably seems reasonable. So now in here, we can just be like, yo, render me this shit with our self shared style highlight color. What else is this thing on? He wants a corner radius pixel, right? Because this thing is like not really a square, it's a squircle. So corner radius is, I'm sure we were using this all over the place. Yep. And then that means we need corner radius here, which I assume is an F32, probably. Just kind of guessing by memory here. And he wants the widget bounds. Okay, so that's the we probably want the bounds of the box, the like which thing we're rendering here. So we probably want to use item bounds here. And we probably want to use the same transform that you're using to render the text. Would be my guess. Would be my guess. Fuck. Wall. Write all. Save everything, please. Not just the thing that is in my eyeballs right now. Okay. That's not great. That's not great, but it is doing something, right? So first of all, let's we might want to at the very least give this thing a title so that it's clear where this thing is starting. So can we like where are we doing like we've done like labels somewhere else. Let's just do this. Label, and we'll say select an item. Okay. Chillin'. Okay. There, at least we have something. What's the U31 for? Don't need the last bit for some better reason. So often there are lots of cases where we will have negative numbers for window offsets. So it's easier to work with U31s and I32s than U32s and I32s because not all U32s are representable by an I32, but all U31s are. So we don't need U32s. U32s is like so fucking big, but so it's just kind of like a convenience thing. Convenience thing. It just makes it so that like I don't have to like int cast, which is fair because like I mean, yeah, it's one of those like let the type system do the work for you type shit, you know. Okay, so I think that probably our selectable list actually probably wants like a width of the widget would be my guess. And that means that our wrap width, wherever that's calculated for the text, should kind of just come in automatically from the size of the widget itself. Right? So this needs to be like shared style width. Okay. And then we want to kind of make it so that the width of the selected box is selected bounds is going to be very similar, but not exactly the same. This is going to be the item bounds, but we're just going to change the right side to be the widget right side. Yeah. And then here we're going to do this. But with the selected bounds. Okay. So now that thing should kind of like spread out as much as it can. So looks like we kind of have like a common widget width that we're using for everything. That seems fine to me. And then the selectable list here, when we create that thing, is probably pissed off because we no longer need to guess the size. He's not as fat as I thought he would be here. I thought that would fix it. So... Oh, probably on get size here, we also need to use the style width. So fuck any width that's passed in here. We don't give a shit about any of that. We're just like, what does our styling say that the width of this thing should be? Oh yeah, that's better. Now I don't like the fact that it's so like clamped to the text. So probably we have like this item pad, and we should probably just increase the height of this thing by the style item pad over 2, right? Kind of do this for the top and bottom, kind of like just kind of spread it out a little bit. That's a little better. I think that part of me wants a background for this thing, huh? Like it would be nice to be clear where like the bounds of the widget are versus like the rest of the world. So maybe we in our styling, we add a background color. And before we do anything on render, we just like fill that shit up. Right, so we use the background color, we use the same corner radius, but then we use the widget bounds here. Full widget transform is util widget clip transform of widget bounds and window bounds. And we slap that here. Style, we forgot to put the background color in, so where the fuck is that? Demo. Down here somewhere. And I think we have like a background color 2, which we use for like the background of a scroll bar and the background of like pop-up text and stuff. So that feels pretty good. Height needs to be adjusted. Probably we want like some like vertical padding on the top and bottom as well. So we probably in sizing, we probably append a little bit. We probably do like we actually want to do items.len +1 now times item pad, right? Because we want to pad the very top and very bottom of this thing. And then here, when we are iterating, we want to start with one item pad off. Give us a little bit of room, a little bit of breathing room, you know? Why is this not working? It feels like it's still really pushed towards the top for some reason, and I don't like that. Like the top is way closer to the top than the bottom is to the bottom. Why is that? Let's just make sure that if I do like ×2 here, ×4, like does that have the effect that I expect it to have? It does. Oh, wait, am I... I think that I left that constant in here. So it could just be that we are using that sometimes when we shouldn't be. Aha. Aha, that would do it. We're using the wrong pad. All right. How's that look? It could just be that the item pad is very small. That looks better. That looks better. And it could just be that that's like the normal item pad. I don't know why like the distance seems smaller than here, but maybe I'm not quite there. It's probably fine. What got you into Zig? I just tried it one time because I heard a lot about it. And it feels a lot more flexible than Rust, which I was using a lot of at the time. Kind of solves a lot of the problems while still solving a lot of the issues I have with C and C++ as well. Just kind of like nice working. Language C should have been, is what It's 2 Bob says, and I think I can get behind that. Feels kind of right. Okay, so let's handle input. Let's make it so when we click on one of these things, we select it. Would you try Odin or Jaya? I don't really have like a strong desire to, is the thing, but I'm not really against them. I'm just kind of happy with Zig for now, so I don't really feel a need to branch out. Okay. So when we update, sorry, we need to basically make sure that if the widget size changes, we change anything. We don't have to. We're not like trying to like stretch our widget to fill available bounds, so we don't have to worry about that at all. But we might have to worry about like if the text content changes. So I think we just have to like rip all of our items or our labels and update them. And we also actually have to check if the number of items have changed. So we need to do like self retriever. Which means we need self. So if self retriever get num items, I guess we say this is the number of items we have here. If this is different, I guess we just do a resize. While num items is greater than self item labels len, we push a new item in. Which is going to look like whatever we did here. We do need to use our cached allocator, self-shared, self-retriever, and I guess here we have our for num items for this to num items I, and now we have I here. Hell yeah. Okay, so that's pretty cool. We should now, that will make sure that we have as many, and then we also have to resize. I guess while self item labels len is greater than num items, we need to go down. Which actually means here, num items can be less, which means that this needs to be the maximum of this and this. Just to avoid a, like... little invalid iteration order type thing. So here we do pop, and then item dnit. Boom. Apparently we haven't stashed our allocator, which we do need to do now. Which means that here we need to write down that we have an allocator. Not gonna lie, you should do this in JavaScript. Shut the fuck up. Why? I'm not you. It's just I'm not working on a JavaScript program. It's just like such a no. Just no. Okay, so then for each of these things, we're going to update the thing that we're working on. So, update. Okay, sure. And the wrap width is still self-style width. And this, I think, is available. Yep, so we have to try here. Probably some of this stuff is available. I didn't push into this thing. So item, labels, append, text. All right. With our allocator as well. Okay. So that should mean that like as this stuff changes, we respond to that. We should make sure that our application, we might want to change our storage format now so that we can test that, right? We should probably test adding and removing objects on the fly. But we'll do that later. Test adding, removing objects. Okay. So let's, what I was actually trying to do when I got here and I got distracted was I wanted to implement input handling here. So when somebody clicks on our widget, we have to ask our application to update the selected item. That is the plan-reno here, right? So what is in this input response? Wants, focus, and action. So wants, focus is unconditionally false. We don't really give a fuck about focus because that's only for keyboard input, which we do not handle right now. And what are we going to do here? We have like an input. We have like a mouse down event, probably. So we probably want like if there is a mouse down location, if there's a mouse down location, then there's something to do. In this case, the thing to do, or else I think is the right word. If there's no mouse down location, then we say wants focus is false. We don't give a fuck about that, and the action is nothing. We'd have no work to do. But if the mouse is down in our widget, I guess it's actually kind of the other way, right? We actually kind of want like, that's fine, yeah. Otherwise, if like our widget contains the mouse position, if it doesn't, we also just like say fuck off. So maybe we do like a no action is a GUI input response action type of whatever the fuck we wrote here. Boom, boom, because then we can just type, right, return no action. Boom, boom. And now that we have that, now we know that we've clicked on at least one of them. We just have to figure out which one. Okay, so probably that means that on render, our bounds calculations for these things, it would be nice to be able to share that stuff, right? So we could make a function that's like, get me the bounds of all the widgets, but that's not really that great. We could do an iterator that returns bounds of widgets as we go. That feels pretty good. No allocations there. So we could do something that's like, const item, like label bounds iterator. Okay, and this is going to take in a list of our labels. So I guess it's easier if we kind of do this within the context of the selectable lists because we have a few type definitions that we can work with. So maybe we just kind of slap this, I don't know, down here. Okay. So here, what are we gonna do? We're gonna be like, which thing have we looked at? And then also we're gonna look at like a slice of these. And we're just gonna be like, give me the next one. And we might give you some pixel bounds. Okay. Seems fine by me. And all we have to do here is be like, item. I guess we need to store like our initial bounds. So maybe we keep our like y offset here. And this is going to start at like the widget bounds top. Like we, or maybe we're going to have like some sort of init to figure that out. So given our widget bounds, let's make a label bounds iterator, as well as like I guess we need the item labels. We're gonna like rip through these things, and figure it out. So we have like item labels. Item labels. Index here is unconditionally 0, so we don't have to specify that. Y offset is the widget bounds top plus, what is it? The item pad times 2 or something? Is that what we said in render? We just said plus 1 item pad. Okay. So here we need to take in the item pad as well, I guess. All right. Okay, so now we just do whatever we were doing here, where here are the bounds. Here is the size. We need to extract the item from self item labels at self index. We have to check if our index is greater than or equal to the item bound, the item's length, so that we can return null and say we're done iterating. Otherwise, we're fucking chilling, which means that also after this we're gonna have to do self index plus equals 1 to say like move on with our iteration. Our iterator should iterate if you think about it. Const is not cost, it's spelled with an N. And then here, I guess we need to store the left side as well. It seems. Widget left is an I32. And here we store widget left is equal to widget bounds left. Chillin'. So here we just have like self widget left, boom, boom. Hello, VFT, self widget left, and then this is self y offset on both of these. Now, once we have on this, we are now going to say defer self y offs. Maybe not even defer. Maybe we just do it right here. Y offset plus equals self or item size height plus self item pad, which we didn't keep, but we do need to keep that thing as well. It is an important piece of this puzzle. Item pad, and I guess a U31 is fine here. Seems fair to me. And we return the item bounds. I think that's right. I think. So then here, I guess we construct a label bounds IFT. With our widget bounds and our item pad and our item labels, right? We kind of do all of this stuff. And we say like, wow, item, while there is a next thing in here, we have some bounds, cool. And I guess we kind of have to do something like this in this scenario as well. We don't have to do any bounds calculations now, but we do have to keep track of the index. Okay. This is item bounds here. Cool. We did lose the item here, which isn't really great. It would be kind of nice if we return the item here as well, huh? Would be nice, and maybe even then we can return the index as well. Fuck it, like we just give him the whole shebang. We give him the index, we give him the item, we give him the fucking bounds. Just let him fucking figure it out himself. Bounds equal item bounds. The item is equal to self item labels at self idx, and the index is self index. Wow. Bing bang boom. Which means that this is like output or item, I guess we can say item bounds, bing bang boom, item bounds, item dot item. Chillin'. He's mad somewhere else because we didn't finish this function. Can we just I don't know, man. Comment it out, I guess, and this as well. Okay. Does it build now, please, sir? Fuck! Wow, that's a lot of problems. So this thing's pissed off because let's just unreachable for now. Let the compiler get that shit out of the way. GUI text at 34 is pissed off at like casting issues. Sorry, selectable list at 169. This thing needs to be mutable, so we pass by pointer. Item dot size is pissed off at 129, probably because it's like item dot size now. True. This y offset actually shouldn't even be handled here because we're calculating that now in the iterator, so that shit gets out of the fucking way. 196 is pissed off. Why? Because top is an I32, item pad is a U31, y offset should be an I32. True dead. Pixel size and U31 can't be added together. That's a really good point. So here would be like, this should be height here. All right, let's see if everything still works. Let's see if everything still works. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so right, as soon as I click on it, it crashes. But that means that the renderer was in fact rendering the right thing, which means that we can use the same iterator here on oops, this should be item dot index here. That was the whole point. So we should be able to use the same iterator now in input state handling. And we should be able to use this to check if which one of these things we intersected with, right? Now we could it's probably possible to just automatically jump to the right one. No, because each one, since they could wrap, we don't really know. There's not like a fixed height for each item in the list. So we do have to iterate them one by one. You could do like a binary search probably, but fuck it, you know? I don't give a shit. We can just do what we want. So, if this is the case, what are we gonna do? We're gonna be like, did the mouse intersect with these item bounds? So if the bounds that this item like lives in, contains the most down location. Hold on, wait a second. When we render, how are we getting the extra size? Oh, we are giving a little bit of item pad stuff in here as well. Can we? I kind of want that to come out of this as well, because if we click on the pad between items, we probably want that to count as a click as well. It'd be very confusing if you would occasionally click somewhere and it didn't trigger the action. So let's, like, can we turn this into the label bounds and the full bounds like this? I think that's kind of fair. So here we have the label bounds, and we say the full bounds is equal to label bounds like we did over there. But the full bounds top is minus equal to self item pad over 2. And the top bottom is plus equals. So this is the label bounds is like this. And the full bounds is this. Okay. That means that up in the render section, we now have all of this is just like item full bounds, boom, boom, and item label bounds here. Boom. Wow, look at that. It's so simple now. It's so simple. Hell yeah, dude. Feels right. Okay, so now we want to check if the full bounds contains the mouse location, and if that is true, then we are good to just say fuck off and return an action. So we're like, yo, we want focus? Fuck no. But we do want you to generate, we do want to perform actions. We call our like action generator with the argument of item index. And I think that does it. Fuck. Right, we do have to return no action if for some reason we rip through all those things and none of them hit. But that probably shouldn't happen, but I guess we shouldn't, like, maybe there's like an off by one somewhere. Looking good. Full bounds, though, needs to be fixed to be the full width. So maybe we actually just store, like, widget right here as well. Widget bounds right. Okay, so here we need to expand that shit. Which makes it seem like we're barely, like, why... We should just make this, like, const pixel b box and just, like... Yeah, do it like this. So this is label bounds minus... This is label bounds bottom plus. This is just widget right and widget left, probably. Yeah. Fuck it. There we go. There we go. Oh, come the fuck on. Come the fuck on. Let's go. It's like, it's perfect. Look at that. Look at that. That's hype. That is fucking hype. Okay. Let's maybe update this thing. Oh, what's next? Drop down is basically the same thing, but with this inside it, right? So a drop down just says, hey, when you click the drop down, we show a selectable list. But there might need to be some sort of like scrolling for this thing, right? If there are way too many items, that would be a problem. And we also needed to test still what happens if like the items in here change. So let's tackle that first. Let's make sure that we've got like the update section of that correct. So we just need to change it so that our thing, instead of our list being defined by a chunk of enums, let's instead say what? I guess let's make it so that we have like a text box that's like new label, and then we'll have like a add button, and then underneath we'll say like select, and we'll basically like just select whichever one is in here, and maybe we'll say maybe we'll have like remove below, right? Shouldn't scrollable behavior be a widget too? Yeah, we already have we have a scrollable widget already. We have this like scroll view. But we just might want to wrap this thing in a scroll view. Maybe not. Maybe that's like up to the caller. Probably is. This scroll view already can take an arbitrary widget inside, so it should just work. It should just work. Although the scroll bar eats into the size, so we might need to check in the widget if the scroll bar becomes present. We might need to shrink our size a little bit, right? So like our selectable list thing here, he might want to do like wherever like this update call is, he might want to do like const actual width is equal to the styled width, whichever one is smaller of this or available size, right? Whatever. But we'll tackle that later if we need to. Bob, thanks for the prime, much appreciated. Much appreciated. Okay, but let's work on like this, right? So let's make it so that when we generate our labels in our demo, our selectable item is now going to have like I guess like an item list is going to be some array list of strings. Seems reasonable to me. Seems reasonable to me. And now the selected item is just going to be a usize into that thing, right? Oh, fuck. This is the wrong fucking... God damn it. This is the event. This would be like this, and then the select item is now going to return, instead of a selectable item thing, is going to be return a usize. So we'll have to figure that out. So usize here is literally just like now returns the usize directly. Fuck it. And okay, chill. Maybe we will start by initializing this item list with some stuff. So I don't know, we'll see. We need to do like a alloc free item like this, and then we need to do like item list destroy dnit with alloc boom 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 boom. Okay, and then let's just like initialize this thing. So when we construct our app, we will just do for, I don't know, 0 to 5, we will make some items. And we'll be like alloc stud format alloc print a thing that looks like item plus the number. Seems reasonable to me. Item text is this, error defer alloc free item text, just to be good citizens. Not that this will ever fucking happen in the whole lifetime of my entire life, but it could, theoretically. And then we'd say app item list append item text. Okay. That means that our like adapter for this thing that like says how to fetch this thing now needs to be updated to say the number of fields is now self app item list len. Dog's just like groaning as she walks around, just like life's so fucking hard, stupid dog. The text for this thing is just the text at that index. And I think that's it. And then when we change the selection, that's fine. Fuck. Demo Zig 322 is pissed off about 322. Oh, I didn't save. I would do it. Classic. Selected item by default has to be 0. Okay. And then on alloc print, we do need to pass in the allocator. That's a good point. He needs an allocator to alloc, if you think about it. Okay. Item list here at 189 is pissed because this is items now. Bing, bang, boom. And usize ignored at 318. True. You have to return in this language. You don't just fucking slap that shit on the ground and think that it'll go where you want it to. You gotta ask it to go to the right place, you know? Int from enum. Why the fuck? Okay. So now we should see item 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. That's good for us. And now let's add a button to change the list of this thing. So maybe instead, you know what we could do? That's fine. We could have just made it a like maximum size type thing. But whatever. Yeah, I guess this way we can make it so we can remove things as we feel. So let's do, where is this shit? Selectable list here. So let's make a new label. This is going to be add label. Add. And this is going to, we're going to say add new label, I guess we'll call it. And this is going to have like be associated with a text box, I guess. And when this text box is finished. He is going to... Oh, interesting. Interesting. We have made it so that the text box is linked to some underlying app state. But in our case, we kind of just want... We kind of don't give a fuck at the app. Like, we only care once the add button is clicked, which is kind of interesting. But that's fine. I guess we'll just make like an app buffer here for this. So here will be like new item name. I guess it makes sense. That actually does make sense. So our new item name is going to start as like empty, right? But as characters are pressed in this text box, we'll be like, yo, we need some, this is the name. So this is new item name like this. And then we need to have a way to, our UI action needs to have a way to append to new item name, or insert new, edit new item name, which is basically going to take all the same stuff here that we took for the text box, other text box stuff. Yeah, makes sense. Then we need to make a generate function here that behaves the same way. So we're going to be like, make edit new item name, which takes in a notifier, text box notifier, an insert position, and events. So that's going to look like this. New item name. Yeah, I guess that's fine. I guess there's nothing crazy happening here. Okay. Insert index equals insert index, and events or text equals to events, I guess. Which means that wherever the fuck we were making this thing, we now use UI action dot make edit new item name as a function pointer. And I bet you this is gonna fall the fuck over, actually. I bet this is gonna fall over because I bet we don't know how to handle arbitrary functions like that, but okay, so this text insertion stuff is going to have to definitely be pulled out into a function. So this is going to be like append, like edit text given some stuff. I don't know, man. Probably like an allocator, insert index, text box notifier, GUI, text box notifier, sure. And then what, like events? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. GUI key event. Yeah, it's kind of the stuff. And we're gonna do whatever the fuck we did in this handler before. We also need where we're putting the text. So, text is going to be an array list unmanaged of u8s, and okay. I don't know. So this is going to be events here. The insert index is Jesus Christ. Fixed insert index, I guess we'll call it here. Okay. Just need to make sure that we fix all of those uses. Okay. Then he's complaining here about v.notifier. Okay, those all go away. And then it looks like this kind of works, which means that here we just call edit text with our allocator, our text input, our v insert index, v notifier, and v events, or text is what we called it here. All of this goes away, and now we can do the same fucking shit. Oh. Yep, now we can do the same shit for whatever our new event is. Edit new item name, and our text input is now just like app new item name. Hell yeah, dude, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. This thing is going to say, okay, actually, maybe we're chilling. Right. So key event got const key event 792. So wherever the fuck we wrote key event here, just throw a const in front of it. Const, boom. All right. And then here he's pissed off about no field or function named generate in this thing, right? So in text box, he has assumed that the thing we were passing in to generate new text is one thing. So this is fucked up in like multiple ways. Text retriever must be a string or have a get text method. Its type is t, which is not a thing that we can write. God damn it. So let's fix that error log really quick. This should say type is type name t. Let's see what the fuck this is bitching about. This is instead an array list unmanaged U8. That's true. Which means that wherever we tried to use this thing as our text is not valid, because the fucking pointer is going to move around. So that was when we used our here. The text box here. New item name. This is invalid. We have to do like, we have to wrap that shit. Ugh. New item name adapter. So this seems like a pub function get text, which takes itself as this, returns some text, and he's going to take in the app as an app, and he's going to return self app new item name items at this point in time. All right. Fuck it, like this. So that's one bug down. Okay, one down, one to go. Now it's the generate thing at text box. So this guy needs the same treatment where right now he's kind of assuming that there's this thing, the generator is like a structure with a generate function. He needs to support the fact that it might just be like an arbitrary an arbitrary function. It could be a function, it could be a struct, right? So I'm sure that we've done this somewhere else. Probably in like button. Action. Click action. No, he just returns it. What about in drag float? Yeah, this looks promising. Get val. Here we go. Generate action, baby. Okay. So what does this say? He says, give me an action generator. If that thing has a generate function, we call that. Our value here is going to be kind of different, but otherwise the same. Otherwise, if it's a function pointer, call with those same parameters. Cool. Okay. So what are these types? It's a text docs notifier. Can we just do like, probably not. Notifier, the text box notifier. What else is in here? The pause, the use size, and the items is a const key event thing, I think. So then we call this with action generator, notifier, pause, items, and action generator, notifier, pause, items. Which means now we can call this as generate action, and we just pass in as the first argument our action generator, as well as the action type, to be honest. Hello? Text action here, I think is what we called it. Fuck! Expected 3 arguments, found 4. 1. Whoa. Which of these things? Whoa, what the fuck? Demo zig? 1, 2, 3. Oh. Right, because I'm a dumbass. The action generator doesn't keep passing here. It's the thing we're using. There we go. Okay, we got there. Okay. So now we should be able to start typing this thing, and we need a button that commits that. We need a button to commit it, right? So we say, when we're gonna have some add action that's like, commit new item. Okay. We are going to back to wherever we generate our like demo layout somewhere down here, and we're gonna be like, let's make sure that we have a button. GUI button make button given a UI action. What else does this fucker need? He needs like an allocator as well as a way to retrieve the text for the button. The text for the button is just going to be add. Simple. He needs a shared button state. Okay, and then what are we going to do on the click action? We're going to call, what do we call it? Commit new name or something? Then we're going to be like, put that thing in our fucking layout. All right. Cool. And then down here, wherever the fuck we handle our shit, we should be like commit new item says we are going to take the stuff in the text edit box, the new item name, and we're just going to like take that shit and be like app selectable. Where is the fucking list of items? What is it called? Item list. Sorry, it's item list. App item list. Append the new item name. Simple, right? And then we say app new item name dot. I guess here we need to be like to own slice with our allocator. So we need to be like new item name is the app new item name to own slice. Then we used to say like error defer alloc free this thing if we fail to push it, but we won't, that's okay. And then I think that's it. Fuck. Commit new item name is not the right thing. Commit new item. Okay. Fine. Fine. Dude. Hello there. I recently did an interview at Amazon. We did the Fizzbuzz question on LeetCode. Dude, so doing Fizzbuzz is crazy. Okay. Wait, this is good. Adding things does in fact add them. If the item height is 0, if there's no text, that's a fucking problem. So we need a minimum item height here for sure. But for now, this is fine. That's good enough. Is it weird that like, does it seem like these are maybe there aren't different heights. I think that there's probably some sort of like line height shit going on where things that have like item probably has a T that is taller than every other letter here and is getting like squished into like a different size. Something about this feels a little off. I can't really place it, but I mean we're most of the way there. Let's make it so that let's just add the remove button, and I think maybe we could call it done there. So we have commit new item. Let's add remove selected item. And we'll just be like remove is going to remove selected item. And then down here we need a remove selected item. Just takes like item list ordered remove probably at app selected item. Seems reasonable. And let's just make sure that like I guess we need to take the item and then free it. Seems reasonable. And let's just start spamming remove. Okay, so there we had a problem where the selected item can go out of bounds. So here we need to say like if selected, we want to go like if app selected item is greater than app item list items len. I guess we just do like app selected item is equal to the maximum of minimum, I guess. Item list items len minus 1 or the existing index. Okay. And then we probably also have to check here still if app dot item list items len is greater than the app selected item, then we do all this. Otherwise, we fucking call it a day. Okay. So now I should be able to spam the remove button. Okay, chilling. And we can say like, hello, add, world, add, remove world, add. That's pretty good, man. That feels pretty damn good. Close, no leakies? Holy shit, we got there, baby. That took a lot longer than I thought it would. Classic programmer. But I think that that's pretty good. Like, overall, there's nothing too crazy there. So what's missing here, like polish-wise? We know that like we need a minimum item height. Right? Because like if we specify that there's like 0 text in there, that's a problem. Because it like thinks that there's no text, like the label height is 0 in that case, so we have to fix that. We want to test probably wrapping in a scroll view. So that's, I don't think there's anything that has to be done here to do that, but I would like to write like test wrapping in scroll view. Was there any other polish shit we needed to add to that thing for that to work? Like, did we hit any other bugs there? I don't really think so. It was just the width, right? Or like the height thing? Hello. Yeah, I think that was it. And then maybe we want like a minimum height for the whole min widget height, right? We might want that as well. We might want that. Okay. So min item height and min widget height, let's say. That seems reasonable. Seems reasonable. Oh, there was the other thing that we wanted to say of like fix when scroll bar appears. We might need to like reduce width. Yeah, that was the other thing we need to fix. Okay, let's just work through these then. So min item height should be pretty easy. So can we go into the demo, and when we create our styling for this motherfucker, where is that? Min item height? I think we just make it like the unit, we call this. We have a unit that's determined by the line height of a line of text. I missed some stuff. Don't know if your panels can be hidden, but those parameters may be useful. That's fair. How efficient is it versus ImGUI? I mean, ImGUI does something in 1 or 2 draw calls. Much worse. Much worse. I haven't really looked into batching the draw calls. I think it's possible. But I haven't really considered that like a problem at all. I have like, as long as it's like fast enough, I don't really give a fuck. Our like layout stacking and stuff is just done by like rendering things in order. It's like kind of fucking stupid, but I really don't think it matters. But we'll see. We will see. Okay. So what did we just add? We added this like min item height. So this thing is going to be the unit, and then here somewhere in our like text, was it selectable list, we had that layout bounds iterator. Here we basically just have to say when we take the item height, I guess here we can just do like the maximum of the item size height and the min min item height, I guess, goes here. So maybe we just take in the style here, like this, and then the item pad goes away here. Instead of passing an item pad, we pass in the style, like this, and then this is a style dot. Everywhere we use item pad gets replaced, and styles equals style here. Okay. So when we make this thing now, it's like with style directly, and then surely somebody else in here is pissed off. Surely. Demo zig 716 is pissed off. Why? This is an F32. This is U31. Int from float. Fine. Fine by me. Fine by me. Self-shared style is pissed off at 112 because I need to put an ampersand here probably, and here. A little ampersand for pointers. And then min item height is wrong because this is a self-style now. And then is there item pad in here used as well? This also has to be hidden behind the style pointer. Boom, 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 boom. All right. So that should fix the case where we add items of 0 size. That's not good. That's not good at all. So we should be applying that min height not to the text, but to the bounds. That's kind of funny. So let's think about this a little more. So y offset should be incrementing by the minimum of the item size height and the min item height here. And then I guess the full bounds should also be using that in some way. So I guess here we want like okay, let's think about this. The full bounds, now the calculation is just like totally fucking broken. So we need to look at like the label bounds top. That's now just the y offset. The y offset, actually here, our initial y offset is set to the item pad, which is kind of fucking weird, but like whatever. It's fine. It's kind of like a weird convention, but not the end of the world. The bottom now needs to be calculated from the min. I guess we say like effective height or something is going to be this. Effective height here. The bottom is the like full top is going to be this. Boom, boom. Oh, disabled buttons or elements. Oh yeah, like in like the ability to have like a grayed out delete button or something is pretty useful, for sure. I think that we can get away without that for now, probably, but that's worth considering. I don't think that we need disabled elements in the selectable list for now, although like in the future maybe. This is what the benefit, I guess, of us being able of like writing our own GUI framework is that we don't have to tackle things that we don't hit yet, which is kind of nice. Kind of nice for us, for sure. Full top. I guess we could actually huck the item pad in here as well. Maybe not, actually. I don't think we can. I lied. No, I didn't lie. We can. Item pad can live here. And then now, this is just plus effective height. This is just plus effective height. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, I think that does what I want. Okay, so here, this stuff looks pretty reasonable. I kind of feel like the pad's too small, to be honest. But now if I huck in 0 size, no, it's not doing what I want. Why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? Effective height is the, oh, max. We do want the max. True. All right. That's not good. So probably the size calculation here now is should actually just use the label iterator again. Yeah, because I don't know why the fuck we thought that we could. I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. It's just it's different. It's fine. We'll just use the right thing. Label bounds iterator in it with the widget bounds, which we don't have. Interesting. But we do have the width. What does he use like the widget bounds for? He gets the widget left and widget right. Sure, so we can just use 0 and the width of our widget. So we have left equals 0, top equals 0, bottom equals, you know, unused, but we can do std math max int e31, i32. And then we can do right is self-shared style width. Boom, boom. Okay. So this guy takes in the widget bounds and the style. Okay. And the item labels. Okay. So while IT next, we take the item full bounds height, and we just say like var height equals 0 as a u31, I guess, and we just increment that shit. I guess actually what we want is just like the maximum, huh? Item dot full bounds dot max bottom. Yeah. So like theoretically, you could just like jump straight to the end. No, because you do have to go through each section. I forgot. You do have to do it this way. But you could maybe extract it at the very end if you wanted to. You could pull out like ity offs out of this thing and not do this, which maybe we will do. We'll kind of cheat. I'm not against it. How the fuck do I do this? Yeah. Okay, self-shared styles pissed off again because we need the ampersand. And here, I guess we need an int cast here, and we should assume, I think that if our y offset starts at 0, we're pretty guaranteed to get in there. That's a little better. I feel like, I think it's that the minimum height here is larger than like the height of the label. And so the label's kind of just going item pad off from the minimum height, but really like it makes more sense for the label to get like centered or something. It's like too close to the top. In reality, we should be using like a baseline or something, but I think that we should just center the top and bottom here. So maybe we actually do the effective height, we do the full height first, and then we adjust the label positions to like be centered in there. So we could do like full bounds C Y, label center Y, and then we do label top is the label center Y minus like half the height. So we go like label height is, we have that. So item size height over 2, right? And then the bottom we have to account for if the height is going to get truncated when dividing. So we need to do like plus item size height mod 2. I think that's right. I think. Doesn't seem crazy. Fuck! F32? Why the fuck is this an F32? I don't give a fuck, dude. So when we do int from float here, this thing is gonna floor, which means that the extra side should go on the bottom, which we've done. Yeah, nice. Noise. We suck ass. We suck ass. Fuck. What do we do wrong here? We do direct plus here. It's a really good point. Really good point. Much better. And those look way more centered. I'm not really 100% convinced it's right, but it doesn't look guaranteed wrong. It could be that the Y offset is now starting at item pad, which I might not like. No, because we offset that shit. It might be that this should be over 2 here. That feels okay to me. Feels okay. I'd have to look a little closer, but that feels pretty good. Yeah. I think there probably should be some left side padding as well, but I don't really care enough about that right now to deal with it. Feeling pretty good. Yeah. Do we want like a min widget height? I'm actually okay with not having it for now, actually. Like, this seems okay. Maybe. We could at the very least clamp the height to be at least 1 item tall. That probably is the play. Bearable, yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling. Bearable, which is really all we need. Okay. So here can we do like the minimum of the Y offset and like self-shared style min item height. Make it at least 1 big. At least 1 big. Fuck. Max? Dude, do you know how many times in my life I've got min and max wrong? It's crazy. You would think that getting the maximum and minimum is like not hard, right? But my problem is always that when I want to cap it, I have to type minimum. Wait, is that right? Yes. I want the max value to be the minimum of these two things is the correct answer. And I just get that wrong every fucking time. Every goddamn time, dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with this. That's pretty sick, dude. That's pretty sick. Okay. Last thing we would want to try is adding a scroll view to it. But I think that that's like not that much work. The only thing that we have to do for if we put it in a scroll view is adjust the width so that the scroll bar doesn't like clobber it. But I'm okay with that for now. Good progress. Yeah, I really thought we would get farther. I thought that we would do like the drop down and stuff as well, but we'll live with this for now. We will live with this. And in fact, there is probably no case where we actually need the drop down too. Maybe I'll do that in happy hour, maybe not. But in all of the cases in the image editor where a drop down is used, we could just use one of these things, right? Here, we could just show all of these at once with a button. Same with, I think it's in if we do this mask multiplication, these have input image here and here. We could again just show 2 lists. And then for primary input as well, we could just list all the images. So technically we have everything we need, I think, in order to replace I'm GUI tomorrow. So maybe we'll do it in happy hour. Maybe we'll add like the drop down in happy hour. Maybe we won't. I think it's pretty trivial. The drop down should just be like huck what we just made in like a pop-up layer, which we already have. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Pretty happy. Left. No, yeah, left. Dude, I've said that so many times. Okay, cool. So thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you saw, we stream most days at 12:30 Pacific time to 4 o'clock Pacific time. It is 4 o'clock Pacific time now, so if you are watching live, anywhere between 3.5 hours ago and now is when you should expect to see us. Code for this will appear on GitHub under the SVIMP repo. The repo is the same as my YouTube and Twitch handles, but if you want the link, it's in the Twitch description. If you're watching live and you're like, I want to follow up, but I might not be online every day to watch you, that's like pretty reasonable. There is a YouTube link in the Twitch description where you can catch VODs of the main stream, organized into playlists. Right now, we are working on the GUI framework as part of our image manipulation program. We are probably going to switch topics soon onto trying to auto-generate a map of where we are spending our time in the code base, like kind of like auto-generated UML slash constellation slash map slash, I don't know, heat map type shit. We will be doing that soon. If you're watching on the YouTube VODs, you will see the 2 to 4 segment, which means that there is a 12:30 to 2 segment that is not captured in here, which we call happy hour, which is just kind of like small tasks don't deserve their own YouTube video, won't hit the algorithm, hard to title, hard to thumbnail. So today we were working on refactoring some of the scroll view stuff that we did yesterday, or not the scroll view stuff, sorry, the text box stuff we did yesterday, just slight refactors. Yesterday we were working on prototyping the like code map stuff just to make sure that it was like possible, you know, things that like background work essentially. So if you want to catch that and you want to catch up on those, they are available in member streams or member section of YouTube, Patreon, or if you sub on Twitch, you get access to that stuff. I think that's all the plugging we got to do. YouTube, peace out. Twitch, let's find someone to raid.